I don't think so.
No?
No. No. No, I married the same guy, you know.
Yeah.
And, the children, they've all been very good to me. And, you know, they're, and the way I feel, I think we've all had a good life. You know,
Yeah.
I think Roy feels the same way. I'm not sure, you know.
Hello, everybody. Welcome back to Vox Populi. Today I am chatting with my grandma Ruth. Now, Ruth, you just turned 98, right? Correct?
Yes.
So that means you were, let's see, born in what,
22.
22. It's a long time ago. That's hard for me to even...
November 2nd, 1922.
That's hard for me to even imagine. So how did you meet my, or I guess what was it like growing up through the 20s and the Great Depression and all that?
Well, we didn't know any different. We just thought this was the way things were, you know. We just ordinary kids going to school. I liked school. I always liked school. I always liked to read, and during those years, everything to me was great.
Yeah.
I mean, I didn't know there was a depression. I didn't know that things could be better until...
It was normal for you.
Yeah, that I thought was normal, you know. So, and I did, when I got to high school, I did very good. And for some reason, I love school. And when I graduated from high school, Pratt & Whitney had a course they were given for, if you took their classes, you learned to work for them. And I worked in the lab. I became a chemist, and I loved it. And I worked for Pratt & Whitney for 7 years. And actually, I got paid for an education.
You got what?
Paid for an education. I got paid for working, and I was learning, and when they offered the we used to have an assembly in high school. I don't know what they call it now, but anyway, the principal announced that Pratt & Whitney was offering these courses. Anyone interested to apply, and they had applications. So I asked my chemistry teacher if he thought I should apply for it. He said, if anybody should apply for it, it should be you. Mm-hmm. So in other words, he meant that my grades and my interest in chemistry was so good that I should go for it. And it was the best thing I ever did. I had a great career, and
So this would have been around 1940-ish?
yeah, in 1940, 1942, something about 42 rings a bell, but I can't quite remember now what it is. But, well, I guess that was when I started working for Pratt & Whitney, because I got married in 1946.
Sure, right after the war.
Yeah. Yeah, my husband was a soldier. He was overseas. He come home, and before he was supposed to go back overseas, and before he went back, we got married. And after several months, I went to Germany to be. I was on the second boatload of wives that went to Germany, and I felt myself very lucky that I was able to go live with my husband,
Right.
because most service people were separated during those times, and living in Germany was nice and fun. And my oldest son was born in Germany. J. Edwards was born in Munich, Germany. And so we were there 3 or 4 years. And then he got sent back to the States. And we lived in North Carolina for a while. And then he signed up to go to Japan, and we lived in Japan for 3 or 4 years, and that I liked that very much. We lived in a place called Dachau. No, Dachau was in.
That was in Germany.
In Germany. We lived near Tokyo, Japan. Every country I went to, or we went to, we loved it.
Yeah.
Every country seems to be nice,
Yeah.
And they always, every place we went, they accepted the Army. They liked the support of the Army, and they always seemed to like the families of the servicemen.
I never met my grandfather or your husband, because he died in the 90s, right?
He had lung cancer.
Okay.
And he smoked, which was bad.
Yeah.
And everybody seemed to smoke back then.
Yeah.
I remember when my daughter, Lil, she was born in New Jersey. When she was 16, 17, in those years, all teenagers would start smoking. So I smoked, but I stopped because I told her, I said, I can't tell you not to smoke if I'm smoking.
Right.
So she sort of, I think, saved my life, because I never did get cancer or lung stuff from the smoking. And my husband would laugh, and he said, well, you really didn't smoke anyway. He said, you just puffed.
Yeah.
In other words, I wasn't really inhaling, so
right.
I never had any ill effects from it. So
sure. Hold on a second. I'm going to wait for them to...
Most of our life, when we ended up here in New Jersey, he retired and he got a job in working for the Army, a craft shop. He ran the craft shop at Fort Belvoir. Did you know that?
No.
That was...
hold on just a minute. I want to wait for them.
He was very good in woodwork. It was a wood craft shop. And he got... I didn't know whether he knew or just fell into it, because he was very good at it. And
if you can't, you were talking a bit about like your husband's health and whatnot, but how was he as a person? Because like I said, I've never met him because he died in the 90s, right?
Oh, he was fun-loving. He loves to dance.
He loved to dance.
Dance.
Mm-hmm.
He and I used to dance. Actually, we were pretty good at it. We used to go to they had on the bases, they always had a club, you know, where it's called Sergeant's Club. And we'd go and we would dance and people would watch us, you know, because he was very good. You know, he was like Fred Astaire. He could, I loved to waltz with him. I mean, he would just go, you know, on the floor, you know, I mean, he would just glide when he danced.
Yeah.
And actually, that's how we met. One of he come back from overseas, and one of his friends, which was a friend of mine, brought him over to my house, or my apartment, and we went out to a club, and we danced. And I was supposed to be going with this other guy, but I danced with him all night long.
Wow.
And he would say, smooth, smooth as silk, you know. And he was so much fun to dance with, you know. I mean, he was a fun-loving person. And he was very good with the kids. I mean, he was strict, but he loved to do things with them. When they got older, they went hunting. See, you know, we have all this property back behind us, and they would go hunting, and he really was a fun person to be around. And we got along great. I never can remember even arguing or fighting with him. You know,
Wow.
I mean, he was just, I don't know whether it was because I wanted to do the things he wanted to do or he wanted to do things I wanted to do, but we just got along good.
Yeah. Through what, 50 years of marriage or so?
Huh?
So for what, like 50 years of marriage or so, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Once, you know, we got married, and it just seemed like everywhere we went together.
Yeah.
You know, we did everything together. And there's only one time when he was in Japan. He went to Japan. He was there a year before I got sent over. That was the only time we were separated during our marriage.
Wow.
So, which was really good because most people are service people are separated. You know.
Right.
I think I'm repeating myself.
Yeah, no, you said that. No, but you're right.
Yeah.
That's a beautiful thing, I think. And so, and how have you been since then? Because it's been what, 20, 25 years since he passed away. So what have you been up to for the last 25 years?
Well, I had the children to take care of, and they.
No, since he passed away, right in the 90s. What have you been up to?
Yeah, well, it's just like I've lived in that house, you know, the same house, and like Roy lived with me until he got married, and then after a while they lived in her trailer, you know, after they got married, and then they built the land. He bought the piece of land next door to us, to where I live. He lives next door to me, and he built his house there. And,
Yeah.
So he's. It seems like I've always had somebody around me.
Well, Jay, my grandfather, he passed away recently, right?
Yeah.
How has that been for you? Because like, I don't think a lot of people live to 98 to see their kids die in their 70s, right? Like, not a lot of people go through that.
It's very hard.
Yeah.
And I've seen him. A lot of times I see him in somebody else.
Say that again?
Like I'll see a man. He'll have gray hair. And you know how he wore that hat?
Yeah, the cowboy hat. Yeah.
Yeah. And I'll see somebody like that and it will remind me of him, you know.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, that's rough. I don't think anybody really expects that to happen, you know.
Yeah.
But you're still doing well,
Yeah.
right? That's what you said you don't have any health problems, right?
No.
98.
I take one pill, and that's for high blood pressure.
Oh, okay.
And I go to the doctor, you know, you go once a year, you know, or once 6 months or something, you know, for a checkup.
Uh-huh.
The doctor look at it. One pill? You know, people 50, 60 take about 4 or 5 pills a day, you know.
Right.
And,
Yeah, and you're almost another 50 years past that.
Yeah. And, it's just, I just feel very, very lucky, you know.
Yeah.
And they say, well, how do you do it? Well, I eat blueberries. ever since I can remember, I've eaten blueberries.
You like blueberries, huh? Yeah, I don't know. I think, yeah, that's interesting because, I mean, how long do you want to live for?
What's that?
How much longer do you want to live for? I think that's an interesting question.
I'd like to say 100.
Yeah, just to
Yeah.
hit that milestone,
Yeah.
and then you can retire officially. Yeah.
Yeah. It doesn't really matter that much, you know. I mean, that I just feel okay. I feel like I want forever, you know.
Yeah.
I don't feel sick. I don't feel like I got a call off or, you
Right.
know.
You're not. You don't have any reason to go. Right?
No,
Yeah.
no.
Well, that's really good. And you've been reading and whatnot. You say?
Yeah. I read every day, and I watch TV a lot.
Yeah.
And I get interested in the show, you know, and then that. And the commercials come on and I'll read. And that, I used to work outside a lot. Mm-hmm. But like this year, I had several plants on the porch. They were all volunteers. Mm-hmm. You know, lettuce, tomato, different kind of plants, you know, and it's just I did take care of them and stuff, but I did nothing to them. They come up, I ate the tomatoes, lettuce, you know.
Sure.
And it's parsley, different kinds of things, you know, they automatically come up and I never even planted them.
Yeah. You still cook quite a bit?
So, yeah, I go out and make sure there's no weeds, and if it's been dry, I water it. Most of the time, I don't have to. I mean, I get enough, you know, and stuff, so I take care of what I need, you know. But, up until maybe 4 or 5 years ago, I used to go out in the garden, or I had, in front of my porch, there was like a little flower garden. I had some plants down in that, and sometimes I'd put a couple tomato plants in there, and stuff, but now I don't want to fall.
You don't want what?
Want to fall.
You don't want to fall, right?
So I don't go off the porch unless Roy or Lil or somebody's there.
Sure.
You know, I mean, I don't, like, I used to go out and mess around the yard and all that kind of stuff. But I figure I'm fine. Why ask for trouble?
Sure.
You know, just do, you know, when the weather is nice, a lot of times I'll just go sit on the porch. And, you know, or sometimes I'll take my book out and sit on the porch and read. You know, when the weather, spring and fall, you know, when the weather's nice, not too hot, not too cold. Now it's a little chilly, you know.
Right.
But sometimes I'll sit out there maybe 5-10 minutes, you know. Or I keep some chairs out there, and if I go out and feel like sitting down, I'll sit down and just watch the birds or whatever, you know.
Sure.
Yeah, so.
What do you think about the, I guess, state of the world or state of society? You know, I know that's such a broad question, but like compared to, I mean, obviously you've seen a lot, right? So,
Yeah.
what do you think about where we are as people? You know.
Well, I'm not sure. I mean, like my daughter will ask me about who I'm going to vote for or whatever, you know, and I'm not sure of the people really, you know. I'm really not sure who's right. It's of course I watch the news, the TV, and all that sort of stuff. I'm not really. It's hard to say, you know.
Yeah.
It's
Well, I don't even mean about politics specifically, but just like obviously society and sort of just standards and whatnot and how people conduct themselves are a lot
Yeah.
different than they were in the 40s, you
Yeah.
know? So I guess, you know, what do you think about that? Are certain things for better or certain things for worse, you know?
Well, I think actually, I think during most of my time things were better. Of course, I've had a good life, so I can say that.
Sure.
You know.
You're biased in that way, I suppose.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But like Roy and Debbie, they're happy. They're doing good, you know.
Mm-hmm.
But
It's more what you make of it, I suppose. Then,
yeah.
Huh?
Yeah.
Yeah. If you could do it all over again, right?
What?
Is there anything? I said if you could do it all over again, right? Like
Yeah.
life, like starting back. Is there anything that you'd do differently?
I don't think so.
No.
No. I remember the same guy, you know.
Yeah.
And the children, they've all been very good to me, and you know they're. And the way I feel, I think we've all had a good life. You know.
Yeah.
I think Roy feels the same way. I'm not sure, you know. But he's very good to me. So's my daughter, you know.
Yeah. What do you think is the? I mean, you said you've had a good life, right?
Yeah.
What do you think is the key to that? Like, what do you think? I mean, there's a lot of unhappy people in the world, right?
Yeah.
What do you need to have a good, happy life, do you think?
I think you got to find the right people.
Yeah.
Yeah. I think it's important to have the right, people. And I mean, I think a lot of people don't seem to be interested in their families and stuff like we used to be.
Sure.
People, they go off and don't pay attention to anybody else. They do their own thing, don't worry about the others. But I like about Debbie's family. They're all very,
Close.
close.
Yeah.
Like her mother is in with everything. She goes with whatever they do. And so I mean, they all seem to be, very happy.
Right.
But well adjusted and.
What's I guess for younger people like myself, what's one piece of advice that you'd give if for younger people of my generation, say,
Well,
or even just for me personally,
like, stick together. I mean, I don't know. You, do you see your brothers or your relatives often, or
I try to,
you
yeah.
try to? I mean, keep in touch.
Yeah.
With your mother and father, and because they appreciate it more than you know.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, what's your relationship with my dad like?
Well, to me, it's always been good. I mean, both him and Jay, I love them dearly, and I think about them quite often, and how things are going with them and everything like that. I mean, I know we don't keep in touch as much as we should, but
Yeah. Thank you everybody for watching. Like, comment, subscribe for more. Have a good day.